So with the year being halfway over and One Piece currently being on break right now, I thought it'd be an appropriate time to talk about the current state of the series. I also wanted to talk about some of the current things going on in the manga right now and also what we could expect from the future. Anyways though, I think everybody that's been keeping up with the manga can agree that this year is looking to be one of the best One Piece has had in a minute. We've only had 16 chapters come out this year and so much has happened. No joke, like at the beginning of this year, kids still had a crew. Alright, I'm sorry, I'll stop. That was unnecessary. But anyways, 2023 has given us some of the greatest chapters One Piece has seen yet. Like, Oda has just been on a streak. But the first main thing I want to do in this video is go over some of the highlights and major events that have happened this year. And there were quite a lot of those this year. So before doing this, I do want to give a quick spoiler warning, mainly for those who are not caught up with the current manga, which this is the chapter that we're currently on at the time of this recording. But without further ado, let's get into it. This year started off with chapter 1071. This chapter starts off with Bartholomew Kuma heading over to Egghead, which, not gonna lie, looking back at it is so funny because this arc starts off with us at Egghead and now we've strayed so far away from that do we even call this arc Egghead anymore? Anyways, we find out that Kid and his crew are heading over to Elbaf. Surely nothing bad will happen once they arrive there, am I right? We also see that Garp is planning to head over to Pirate Island, where he plans to save Kobe. In the next chapter, we're given more information about Kuma through Vegapunk. We also find out that Stussy from CP0 is actually a clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy, which, if you guys don't remember, she is the mother of Weevil and also a former member of the Rocks Pirates. So these are pretty big things that happen in just 2 chapters. And for the next few chapters, they mostly relate to Egghead Island. We even get some appearances from important characters like Shanks, Sheikh J. Garcia from the Gorosei, and Kizaru. We get to see more of Kuma's backstory and some good character moments for Bonnie. And we even get to see Lucci and Kaku work together with Luffy and Zoro to take down the Seraphim. Like, we've really come a long way since Enies Lobby. But that's basically it for the Egghead Island portion of this year. And I will say, I do like the Egghead Island stuff. It was fun seeing all the stuff that I mentioned earlier go down, but I think that the chapters that we've been getting for the past few months have been even better. And it all starts with chapter 1079. In this chapter, we see Kid on his way to Elbaf. While he's going there are a bunch of ships in his way. These ships actually belong to Shanks' fleet. So Kid attacks a few of these ships, but Shanks notices this and this immediately sets him off. And literally in the span of like 2 pages, Shanks lunges at Kid and hits him with one move. Like, I don't think we've gotten a beatdown this bad since Luffy punching the Celestial Dragon. Nah, scratch that. I don't think we've seen a beatdown this bad in the entire series. Because not only is Kid defeated, but his entire crew and its ship is just obliterated. Even the manga itself says that Kid and his crew were absolutely destroyed. Now, after an event like this, you'd probably expect Oda to maybe slow things down, nothing really crazy to happen after this. But nah, literally the next chapter is almost as, if not just as crazy as this one. So this chapter starts off at Pirate Island, which, if y'all remember, that's the place that Garp wanted to go to in order to save Kobe. And on this island we see, well, obviously a bunch of pirates, some of which are a part of Blackbeard's crew, and we also see Kobe and a few other people trying to escape, and they're all being chased down by a bunch of pirates. And at first things aren't seeming too good, but then a few members from the Marines come in and help them. One of these Marines is Garp, and right after this we see Garp's ship falling from the sky with him on the head of it, and this man Garp jumps off and destroys the city in one attack. Nah, bro, this man Garp is built different. What's crazy is that before this chapter, people really didn't know like how strong Garp truly was. And personally, I don't really do power scaling like that, but after this chapter, I mean, I think it's safe to say Garp is definitely up there with like the strongest characters in this whole series. Like, if you casually destroying cities in just one move, like, nah, you're just different. What's crazier is that in the next chapter, we find out that when he was younger, he was stronger than this. So it's safe to say that Garp is someone to not be taken lightly. So anyways, after this happens, we see Aokiji pull up on Garp, and he wants all the smoke. So these two start fighting, and we also get a bit of a backstory as to how Aokiji joined the Blackbeard Pirates, or well, is allying himself with them. But anyways, back to the fight. Aokiji seems to be doing decent against Garp, but that all goes down the drain because Garp finishes his man in one move. Like a former admiral just got one-shotted. Like, this dude Garp is a monster. Though I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what Aokiji was expecting. Like, after seeing a man single-handedly destroying a city, me personally, I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm switching continents. I'm not messing with that. Now, after this, we cut to Law versus Blackbeard. Or, well, the end of it, because Law got his ass beat. And Beppo goes into a Sulon form to attack, but Blackbeard and his crew have already fled. Law also lost a submarine in this fight, so yeah, he took a major L with this. But hey, at least he ain't go out like Kid. Anyways though, in the next chapter, we find out that T-Bone has been killed. Now, if you don't remember T-Bone, he was basically the dude that Zoro one-sliced right before Enies lobby. And it was actually a civilian who killed him. And here we find out that Cross Guild has actually been recruiting citizens to kill Marines. Pretty crazy stuff. But anyways, this chapter mostly focuses on Buggy, and that's something that we rarely ever get. And honestly, it was really great to see Buggy rekindle his want to become the Pirate King. And it really just made me appreciate Buggy even more. Buggy is truly the GOAT. Now, Buggy isn't the only thing that is focused on in this chapter, because towards the end, we see that Sabo is perfectly fine after the Lelouch attack. And he's also ready to tell Dragon and Ivankov what happened at the Reverie. And basically, we see members of the Revolutionary Army attacking Marijois, while Sabo is in the main castle with Joribani. And in there, we see Cobra, Vivi's dad, talking to the Gorosei. And here they're talking about pretty important stuff, like the Will of D, for example. And as they're talking, we see Emu sitting up on the throne, and Emu and Cobra start talking to each other, and we're getting really close to like figuring out who Emu is. And this is basically where we find out how Cobra dies, and Sabo tries to come in and save him, but it's too late. We also see 5 silhouettes that look sort of similar to animals, and it seems that these 5 silhouettes are actually the Gorosei, which is crazy to think that all this time the Gorosei have actually been devil fruit users. Now, we don't know exactly what their devil fruits are. All we can tell is that they're Zoan types and that they're obviously very powerful. All while this is happening, we see that Vivi's tied up to a chair, and Cypher Pole is making sure that she doesn't escape. And everything seems normal at first. Vivi's trying to think of a way to get out of this. But literally the final page of this chapter, we see Wapple just crashing into the room. Like, Vivi takes this as an opportunity to escape. But that's most of the important things that happen within the Reverie portion. And after this, we cut back to present day, and we see Emu talking to the Gorosei about a device called the Mother Frame. Now, this device was made by Vegapunk, and it's also the same device that was used to destroy the kingdom of Lelouch. After this, we cut back to the Revolutionary Army, and they're talking about Emu, and we basically get more hints as to who Emu could possibly be. But what's really interesting about this part is what we see after this, because we find out that Mosgard, the celestial dragon that defended Shirahoshi back in the Reverie arc, has actually been executed for defending her. But in the next panel over, we're introduced to a new character named Saint Figurling Garling. Now, for those of you that have seen Film Red, you guys know that Shanks' last name is also Figurling, meaning that this guy is one of Shanks' relatives. And this gives us more understanding of Shanks' relationship with the Gorosei. And overall, I'm really interested to see where Oda takes things from here, because this is the last page that we've gotten from this year, and now we have to wait till around July 12th to get the next chapter. But looking back at these chapters, like I said earlier, this is really looking to be one of One Piece's best years. We're getting all these big reveals and huge events happening. This is probably just going to be the stuff that we're going to have to expect, since this is the final saga and Oda's obviously not playing around. So I'm really looking forward to what we're going to get in the future. Also, one thing I didn't mention throughout this video was the anime. Now, personally, I haven't been keeping up with the anime too much, but the animation has been looking amazing recently. We're also getting really close to seeing Gear 5 animated, and I'm expecting it to happen at some point late July, and there's definitely going to be a whole lot of hype around it. Like, once that episode comes out, all the sites like Crunchyroll are going to fully crash. But anyways, that's the end of this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.